किरण जी आगे ना
5 minutes बड़े पापा 5 minutes।
ओके फिर कुलदीप जी को बोल देना जरा। मेरे को इससे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं राइट फ्रॉम द डे वन। किरण जी आरुषि शी इज हेड ऑफ द स्टाफ।
वेबिनार शुरू करने से पहले मैं आपको कुलदीप शर्मा दिल की गहराइयों से नमस्कार करता हूं।
नमस्कार।
आज के इस वेबिनार में बहुत खास होने वाला है, तो आप सभी अपना पूरा फोकस अटेंशन आज के वेबिनार पे लगा के रखें, क्योंकि ये जो हमें जीवन मिला है ये बहुत छोटा है और जीवन जीने के दो ही तरीके हैं। या तो आप आनंद के साथ अपना जीवन व्यतीत करें या किसी रिग्रेट के साथ में अपना जीवन व्यतीत करें। तो हम सभी चाहते हैं आनंद के साथ अपना जीवन व्यतीत करना चाहते हैं। तो यहाँ पे क्या है, हमारा जीवन, आप लोगों ने सर्कस देखा है, सर्कस के अंदर एक जगलर होता है, जगलर के हाथ में 5 गेंदें होती है, वो एक एक गेंद को ऊपर उछालता चला जाता है और बैलेंस के साथ में एक गेंद को कैच करता है, दूसरी गेंद को फेंकता है, फिर तीसरी को कैच करता है, फेंकता है और बड़े स्मूथ तरीके से ये चलता है। तो हमारा जीवन भी एक जगलर की तरह है। हमारे जीवन के अंदर भी ऐसी बहुत सी ये 5 गेंदें हमारे जीवन में भी चलती है, जैसे हमारा बिजनेस, हमारा फ्रेंड सर्कल, हमारा प्रॉपर्टी और पैसा, ये हमारी रबड़ की गेंदें हैं। और 2 गेंदें हमारे पास में कांच की गेंदें होती है, एक हमारा सेहत और एक हमारा परिवार। तो ये जो हमारा जो रबड़ की गेंदें होती है, इनमें जैसे ही हम रबड़ की गेंद को फेंकते हैं, वापिस जंप करके वापिस आ जाती है। अगर आपका बिजनेस चला जाता है, बिजनेस वापिस आ सकता है। फ्रेंड सर्कल चला जाता है, फ्रेंड सर्कल वापिस नए फ्रेंड आपके जीवन में आ जाते हैं। प्रॉपर्टी और पैसा जीवन में चला जाता है, वापिस आ जाता है। लेकिन 2 चीजें जो हमारे जीवन में होती है, वो सेहत और परिवार, ये कभी लौट करके वापिस नहीं आते। तो हमारा जो आज का वेबिनार है, आज इन्हीं दोनों बातों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम आपकी सेहत के साथ, जो मोटापा जो है वो आपकी सेहत को कमजोर, शरीर में बीमारियां पैदा करता है। और अगर आपका परिवार जो कम्युनिटी को जोड़ के रखने की आज सबसे बड़ी समस्या है, तो हमारा जो DITF जो है वो इस आपके इस पहलू पे, आपकी जो कांच की गेंदें हैं उन्हें संभालने के लिए आज का ये जो वेबिनार किया जा रहा है। तो सबसे पहले मैं देवेश सर जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने हमें ये प्लेटफॉर्म प्रदान किया। दादीज इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड फाउंडेशन जिसकी उन्होंने स्थापना की और जिसके फाउंडर प्रेसिडेंट भी वो हैं, तो लोग मुझसे अक्सर पूछते हैं कि भाई ये दादीज इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड फाउंडेशन क्या है। तो मैं उनको बोलता हूं कि दादीज इंटरनेशनल DITF क्या है। DITF है, DITF इज ए एसोसिएशन ऑफ डेडिकेटेड इंटेलेक्चुअल ट्रस्टवर्दी फेलोज। तो DITF की पूरी परिभाषा, इसमें वो लोग शामिल हैं जो डेडिकेटेड हैं और हमारे DD देवेश दादीज जी डबल डेडिकेटेड हैं। दादीज सर ने इस ट्रस्ट को कितने थोड़े से समय में बहुत बड़ी ऊंचाइयों पे पहुंचा दिया है। हम सब लोग दिल की गहराइयों से इनका धन्यवाद करते हैं।
थैंक यू सर।
नेक्स्ट स्लाइड।
आरुषि आई थिंक हाँ
अस्ता जी प्लीज नेक्स्ट स्लाइड।
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्
किरण जी, कुलदीप जी है कॉल पे?
हाँ है कुलदीप।
कुलदीप जी आप म्यूट में हैं, म्यूट। कुलदीप जी आप म्यूट पे, आप अनम्यूट करके बोलिए।
जो हमारे रजनीश दादीज जी हैं, ये जो हमारा ब्यूटीफुल स्लोगन आपने अभी सुना, ये श्री रजनीश जी दादीज के द्वारा लिखा गया है। ये बीए और बीएड शिक्षा शास्त्री साहित्याचार्य हैं, इन्होंने एमए किया हुआ है और ये हम इनका दिल की गहराइयों से धन्यवाद करते हैं कि इन्होंने डीआईटीएफ को ये अपना योगदान दिया। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये हमारे देवेश जी आपके सामने हैं, ये डीआईटीएफ की जान है। मेरे से लोग पूछते हैं कि डीआईटीएफ क्या है, तो मैं डीआईटीएफ में बताता हूं कि डीआईटीएफ है डी फॉर डेडिकेटेड, डी आई फॉर इंटेलेक्चुअल, टी फॉर ट्रस्टवर्दी, एफ फॉर फेलोस। तो ये सब देवेश दादी जी एक ऐसे जोहरी हैं जो हमारे समाज में छुपे हुए हीरो को निकाल करके बाहर लेकर के आ रहे हैं। जो आपने हमारे पिछले जो वेबिनार थे, उन वेबिनार के दौरान आपने वर्क टुवर्ड सक्सेस, व्हाट गोज इनटू द माइंड ऑफ अचीवर, स्टार्ट इट अप, ये हमारा होम्योपैथी पे सेमिनार हुआ, हमारा एमएसएमई पे वेबिनार हुआ, डीआईटीएफ विमेन विंग का सेमिनार हुआ सिंजारा तीज पे, डीआईटीएफ का कैरियर गाइडेंस पे लेके हुआ, स्ट्रोक गाइडेंस को लेकर के हुआ, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट को लेके हुआ, और हमारा प्रिपरेशन फॉर जॉब इंटरव्यू को लेकर अरविंद जोशी जी ने जो सेमिनार दिया, और डीआईटीएफ। तो ऐसे हजारों हीरे ये आने वाले समय में हमारे सामने लेकर के आ रहे हैं। हमारा जो डीआईटीएफ का विजन है, क्रिएटिंग ए कम्युनिटी ऑफ पीपल हु केम टुगेदर फॉर नोबल काज ऑफ इकोनॉमिक एम्पावरमेंट, सोशल डेवलपमेंट, नॉलेज एंड सर्विस। जो हमारा विजन है कि टू इंस्पायर लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग, एडवांस नॉलेज एंड स्ट्रेंथन ऑफ आवर कम्युनिटीज। हमारे जो प्रीवियस इवेंट थे, ये एक से बढ़कर एक इवेंट थे। आज हमारे डीआईटीएफ को अपने बारे में बताने की जरूरत नहीं है। पिछले 7 महीने में हम लोगों ने ये साबित कर दिया है कि हमारे दादी समाज के अंदर एक से एक बड़े हीरे छुपे हुए हैं। अगर देवेश सर अक्सर कहते हैं कि अगर आपका विजन छोटा है तो आप फूलदार पौधा लगाओ, अगर आपका विजन थोड़ा बड़ा है तो आप फलदार पौधे लगाओ, और अगर आपका विजन 100 साल आगे का है तो अपने साथ के लोगों की डेवलपमेंट कीजिए, अपने लोगों की प्रतिभा को निखारिए। और डीआईएफ आज अपने इन सभी सपनों को साकार करता हुआ नजर आ रहा है। आप सभी लोगों का दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करते हैं, जिन्होंने पिछले 7 महीने के दौरान अपना इतना कीमती और व्यस्त समय दे करके आप अपनी प्रतिभा समाज के समर्पित की, अपने अनुभवों को साझा करने का आपने जो योगदान दिया, वो आपका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। ये हमारे टेस्टिमोनियल्स ऑफ वेबिनार्स हैं, जो हमारे अभी तक के जो वेबिनार हैं उनके ऊपर लोगों की जो प्रतिक्रिया है, वो उन सभी प्रतिक्रियाएं के लिए भी हम दिल की गहराइयों से उन सभी का धन्यवाद करते हैं। अभी बहुत ऐसी चीजें हैं जो डीआईटीएफ की पाइपलाइन में है। डीआईटीएफ का जो सबसे अहम जो उन DITF के पास में था कि एक DITF बुलेटिन हमें करना था, तो डॉक्टर मिसेज तरुणा दादी जी के योगदान में ये कार्य भी हमारा संपन्न हुआ। हम डॉक्टर मिसेज तरुणा दादी जी का हृदय की गहराइयों से धन्यवाद करते हैं कि एज ए एडिटोरियल आपने अभी तक 2 अंक हमारे प्रकाशित हो चुके हैं और आने वाले समय में बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से और भी नई चीजें जो इसमें ऐड करने जा रहे हैं। ये देवेश जी के हाथों से इसका
पुंडरीक गोस्वामी जी।
ये DITF बुलेटिन की जो इनॉग्रेशन के ये कुछ पिक्स आपके सामने दिखाए जा रहे हैं। ये सेकंड एडिशन हमारा अभी पब्लिश हुआ है। आशा है आप सभी लोगों तक ये पहुंच गया होगा। इसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा दादी समाज के अंदर शेयर करें, अपने व्यूज, अपने आर्टिकल इसमें भेजें। ये हमारा मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम है जो मिस्टर नमन दादीज, ये बीटेक फाइनल ईयर के स्टूडेंट हैं, IIT रांची। ये आपको DITF से रिलेटेड अपनी मेंटरशिप किसी भी प्रकार की आपकी क्यूरी हो तो आप ditf@gmail.com पर मेल करके नमन दादी की मेंटरशिप का लाभ ले सकते हैं। ये हमारे जो अपकमिंग वेबिनार, ये हमारा पिछला जो वेबिनार था, ये हर्षित दादी बजट को लेकर के जो हमारा सेमिनार होगा उसके ऊपर है। आज का जो हमारा जो वेबिनार है वो ओबेसिटी साइलेंटली ऑन राइज, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय है। इसके बारे में आप सभी लोग जानते हैं कि आज हमारा जो लाइफस्टाइल है वो ऐसा, खाना पीना हमारा ऐसा हो गया है कि हमारा मोटापा लगातार बढ़ता जा रहा है और पिछले कोरोना काल के दौरान तो ये बहुत ज्यादा तेज गति से बढ़ा है। तो आज हर एक किसी की समस्या है, इस समस्या के समाधान के लिए आज का हम ये वेबिनार लेके आए हैं। तो मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगा हमारी आज के मॉडरेटर आस्था मिश्रा जी को कि वो आए और इस कार्यक्रम को शुरू करें। आस्था जी जो हैं MBA इन हेल्थ एंड हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट के अंदर इन्होंने MBA किया हुआ है और आज के आगे का कार्यक्रम वो विधिवत रूप से शुरू करेंगे।
A very good evening to all. Pranam to all the elders, and thank you so much, Kuldeep uncle, for such a nice introduction. And I would like to really especially thank Devesh sir for this opportunity, for offering me this great opportunity and bringing out this talent in mind that I can also moderate, I can also be a part of such a webinar. I'm really thankful to you all. Today our topic is obesity. Basically, obesity, when we say the person is under obese category, then it specially means that the person's BMI is above 50. BMI is body mass index. Suppose if your body mass index is above 50 or more than that, then you come under obese range, obesity. Basically, it is self-diagnosable through BMI only. And other factors because of extra storage of fat in your body, and when your physical activities are not going on right pattern, you are taking extra calories and there is no physical activity in your daily routine, no eating pattern is helping your calories to burn, and that is why obesity is going on very large on very large criteria in a large scenario in our coming generation. Our coming generation, younger generations are going so far for this. They are just very like every third younger generation, every third person, every third younger one is suffering from obesity, and they are not especially taking care of their routine, and that's why they always like to have junk food and all, and that's why obesity is going on rise and rise and rise and not going on a lower range. Now today we have our speaker Dr. Subhash Zadhir ji. He is a surgeon. Let me introduce you with his achievements and with his profile. Dr. Subhash Dadit is a surgeon and managing director at Arogya Hospital, Vishakhapatnam. He has a specialization in general and laparoscopic surgeries. He has presented several of his papers in international and Indian conferences in surgery. And further going with it, he is currently working and giving his full efforts to put Vishakhapatnam on the medical tourism map. Basically, he is working for Vishakhapatnam and for medical tourism in Vishakhapatnam. That is the main efforts given by him. Then he is also establishing world-class hospitals in Vishakhapatnam. So it is a big opportunity for all of us to have him as a speaker today in this webinar of obesity. Then, going with his education, he has completed MBBS from Andhra Medical College, Vishakhapatnam. And then, further going with it, his achievements, he has also presented several papers in abdominal compartment syndrome at Association of Surgeons of India conference at AIIMS New Delhi in December 2010. And after that, he also presented one of his paper in tissue reperfusion injury following polytrauma, presented at European Society of Surgical Research at Liverpool, UK in 2015. He is also a member in many other fields, like members Royal College of Surgeons of England, and then Vice President of GI Surgeons Association of Andhra Pradesh. So I would really like to invite him, Dr. Subhash sir. Please over to you and tell us something really important about obesity. Please share your views on obesity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Connected है ना डॉक्टर साहब?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, there's some problem with my computer, so I'm changing my computer. Just give me 2 minutes.
No issues, sir.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. I emailed it to another computer at home, and I'm going to start.
Today we are having a joint session, sir.
In Jaipur, is it?
Yeah, Jaipur, sir.
Oh, okay. Purpose.
Really, thank you for giving your valuable time, sir.
Narendra ji, where are you in Jaipur?
We are all sitting at Rambagh Palace.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. About half a mile from my house.
Oh, आप भी जयपुर से हैं, sir?
Ji. I live half time in Jaipur, half in California.
Wow. इस बार कैलिफोर्निया लेके जाता हूँ सभी लोगों को इस बार.
Yes, welcome. But we are here because of COVID. 6 महीने wait कीजिए.
ठीक है.
सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Yeah, let's pray.
Yes, sir.
आपके इंजेक्शन के बाद में what do you advise? We should also take it.
Dr. Asopa will say that better, but I need to take here because मैं वहाँ तो फ्री मिलता है. यहाँ जब 80 साल के लोगों को मिलने लगेगा पेमेंट पे तब मैं ले लूंगा यहाँ पे, मैं और मेरी वाइफ.
Great.
अब 80 के ग्रुप को कमर्शियली कब मिलेगा ये डॉक्टर आसोपा बताएंगे, पता नहीं. Dr. Subhash ji, huh? We lost him.
He joined from California.
Is Subhash ji connected to a hospital that was at one time called the Reach Hospital, or I'm just confused?
एक मिनट, he will himself come over.
And who all are at Jaipur?
Huh?
All of you in Jaipur?
Yeah.
What are the names?
We are total 12 सब, वो बहुत टाइम हो जाएगा, लास्ट में टाइम मिलेगा तो अगले इंट्रोड्यूस करके.
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है, but you are 4-5 people in Jaipur.
Well, we are पूरा 1 डजन सर, हम लोग सब साथ में हैं.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How's
Okay.
California?
Unfortunately, I can't recognize any of you from whatever I can see.
आपको भी करना है.
All are residents of Jaipur?
All of us, yeah.
Welcome, doctor.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Sorry for keeping you all waiting.
अरे नहीं सर.
Actually, मैं सब ये काम हॉस्पिटल के कंप्यूटर से करता हूँ. आज घर पे हूँ, तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई, वॉल्यूम नहीं आया इसका. बाकी सब ठीक ठाक, but not volume or not coming. Is it now? My screen is visible.
Yes, Dr. Asopa, you are Dr. Subhash ji. You
Yes.
are same who went to States about few years ago to Detroit.
Yes, yes, yes. Who is speaking?
Yes, and then we also met in Nagesh's son's marriage.
Correct,
in
correct.
Jaipur.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. हाँ, आपको फिर recently Jaipur also we met in a marriage, I think.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Welcome.
How are you, sir?
Very good, very good. Still in Jaipur because of COVID.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, nice, very good. So I'm very sorry once again. I'm very, very sorry. This thing shouldn't have happened. Actually, we do seminars very regularly, but today the audio was giving trouble. Anyway, with your permission, I'll start. But before starting, I will thank the organizers for giving me such a nice opportunity to share some views with all of you. And especially Devesh ji, who is the main person behind this movement, and a very great movement, and I really applaud him. We all are really grateful to him. He has done a very nice thing, and I'm sure this will be very successful in the long run. It'll help so many youngsters who are coming up, and hats off to him, really. Thank you, Devesh ji. And with your kind permission, I'll start. So the thing is, obesity, as we all know, is increasing and silently increasing without our knowledge. And what is going to be the future? It looks very dangerous. So I thought that is a good topic. I discussed with Devesh ji and he said, yeah, let's try to put this as a topic. Now the thing is, what is health? And in 1960, the World Health Organization said that health is a state of complete physical and mental social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So this is a good definition, but I thought our culture is still older. So let's go back into Ayurveda and see. Ayurveda goes one step further, and it says that it's health is a state where Tridosha, the digestive fire, all the body tissues and components, and all the physiological processes are in unison, and the soul, the spiritual part also is being taken care of here. So now, then we can say that obesity is not these are the body alone. So these are both body and mind. So we have to look at it from that point of view. So as the saying goes, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. Now the reverse also is true. A healthy body resides in a healthy mind. So if we extend this as a corollary, we find that obesity is disorder of both these conditions. So now actually this definition, it has been accepted all over. This is a basic diagram of digestive system which we all have read in our school days. The reason I'm putting up this is basically just to point out that the food comes through the food pipe, esophagus, comes into the stomach and gets partially digested here, and then it goes down into the small intestine, duodenum. So at this junction, there are a lot of the bile juice comes from above. This is a yellow, thick, golden yellow color fluid which comes and digests. And here also some enzyme. So what I'm trying to say is there are so many enzymes involved in the process of digestion and absorption of the food. And there are many hormones also involved. We are still learning. Every year, new and new hormones, new and new enzymes are being discovered, and our knowledge is improving. So what they said in Ayurveda, that the digestive system is the root cause of all the diseases. This is being true even now, being followed in modern medicine also. So this is such a complex organ here. Even heart disease getting related to this, kidney disease getting related to this. I'll tell you as a small experiment what the severe diabetes and high cholesterol and people who are getting this blockage in the heart and the kidneys, what they have done, they're treated for the obesity. For the obesity, what they did, they put a tube into the stomach, and the tube was placed for 45 days, and they found that all the diseases disappeared. Through the endoscope, a tube was placed here and anchored here, and from here it was 1 meter long. So the food which comes, it doesn't touch the intestinal wall, it goes through the sleeve and goes off. So with this, in 45 days, the person's diabetes disappeared, his hypercholesterolemia disappeared, hyperlipidemia disappeared. So there is a problem there. So with that research in mind, we find that we have to learn more about digestive system. As they say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, here also for the diseases, most of the diseases comes from here. With this basic introduction, I had to start talking about it. How serious is the problem? Is it the cause for concern? Definitely, because now if we go by the world statistics, all over the world is increasing, but India is now on a very high. 5% of our population is already showing signs of obesity. And the reasons are again many. We can't say it's one reason. One is we are copying the Western diets, global food markets coming into India, and our rising middle class incomes. Our forefathers used to walk long distances to get water and to get food. Our people, we just moment you get down from the house, there's a vehicle available, there's hardly any time for any activity or any exercise. Those are some of the reasons. And again, there are many other reasons which we'll go to gradually. But what happens because of this? Because of this, there's a major risk factor to various organs: cardiovascular disease, sleep apnea syndrome, the bones, they get attrition and they bone pains, joint pains, metabolic syndrome. This is a very big problem. And besides that, they fall sick easily. The immunity goes down. More than all these problems, the biggest problem is people are not aware that they're going into a problem. And because of this, they're not taking any corrective action. That is the main cause for concern. What will be the implications of this condition? I think after China, we'll be number 2. By 2030, we'll have 27 million children who will be having obesity. And obesity not only affects the health, it affects also the wealth and the performance, educational abilities, and also the chances of getting good life partner. Everything gets affected by obesity. So with these things in mind, we look at the diseases one by one as we go. Now, one person may ask me, Doctor, am I obese? What classification do you put for me? So for India, Asia Pacific, the definition is different, and for international standards is different. Internationally, up to 25 kgs per meter square is accepted as normal. Above that is overweight, not even obese, overweight. In India, the standard is up to 22.9. Normal BMI is 22.9 kgs per meter square. Above that is overweight, and again obesity after 25. So this is again another slide depicting the same thing. But in addition to these things, we have to measure the abdominal waist circumference in India. In men, it should be below 90, women should be below 80. And above 90 is bad. What happens is these people are more prone to sudden death. If you have abdominal obesity plus obesity, and also that they get more comorbidities. Comorbidities is the metabolic syndrome. That is, they get hypercholesterolemia, lipidemia, high BP, diabetes, all those things. So these things increase because of the abdominal girth, and this is peculiar to Asia Pacific region. So example, if you take obese 1, that is 25 to 29 BMI, if it is associated with less than 90, risk is moderate, but if it goes above 90, it becomes severe. So the severity increases with the abdominal girth also. This is a basic formula for calculation of body mass index. It is weight in kgs divided by meters, height in meters, multiplied by height in meters. So first you multiply these two, get a denominator, and then you put the numerator as weight in kgs, and the answer you get, that is the BMI. Now, everybody who comes with overweight is not to be blamed for his dietary habits or for his lack of exercise. There are certain conditions which are not under his control. He has some other problem, a disease, which needs to be checked. So we don't label everybody as obese just because he's obese. There may be a medical condition underlying this. Now, there are so many. I don't want to make it boring with too much of a technical talk, but just one or two to test this. Like, so example, you see this insulinoma. This is a very rare. 1 in 100,000 patients will get that. These people come to us with huge obesity. What happens is this is the opposite of diabetes. In diabetes, insulin is less. In insulinoma, there's a tumor of the pancreas which is going on producing tons and tons of insulin. And as it produces the insulin, the person's sugar gets used up and gets converted to fat. So these people, what happens, the moment they start talking and walking, they get weak, get sweating, they get agitation, and then they slowly realize that they faint and fall, some of them. So they realize that if you eat something, they get all right. So there was one lady who was treated by us, and they treated her in a psychiatric hospital. They thought she's mad, but actually she has the insulinoma. Then now you have this is hypothyroidism, very common, more common in certain age groups, like when women in the pregnancy time, they become hypothyroid, or commonly a woman 30 to 40 years age group, they come and tell us that I lost interest in everything. I don't feel like doing anything, and I'm putting on weight. So we look at the thyroid level that is low. That can be simply treated that way. So we can't label them as, not obese patients. Then we have this PCOS, polycystic ovaries. This is very common in teenagers now, teenage girls. It's only seen in women. These people, some of them become obese, not all. And many of them land up after marriage because they're not able to have children. Then when you look at the scan, the ovaries are having multiple cysts. So this is also one of the conditions. Pregnancy, normally they do gain weight. And there are several other conditions. There are some drugs, antipsychotic, antidepressants, and selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. All these drugs can cause steroids. They can cause obesity. So we have to look at those, rule out those conditions before we start treating them for obesity. Hippocrates said that sudden death is quite common. Now, somebody asked me what organ can be affected by obesity. I said there's no organ. Koi bhi organ nahi bacha hai. It can affect any organ. The sad thing is that they will not know until it's too late. You get a stroke, the brain, a clot. They can get a lung disease or liver disease. Gallbladder may have stones, gynec abnormalities, joint and bone pains and osteoarthritis, thrombosis of the veins, urinary incontinence, and cancer. Cancer is definitely related to obesity. One more thing I'll tell you, respective, many people in this COVID times who died, they died because of obesity. Obesity reduces the immunity to fight, and it reduces the body's response to various stress. So it's a factor which is quite dangerous. And heart disease, of course, we know this. Diabetes, this metabolic syndrome is quite common, and that can give trouble. So overall, it's a bad disease to get, and it's something which is preventable. Somebody walks into my clinic, and I can't say it's a patient. He is a person who is overweight. Comes, and then what I should do. So after basically evaluating the weight, we do a basic blood test, baseline test, and try to rule out what the common problems you see, thyroid and steroid levels and all that. And then we do a basic screening for depression and eating and mood disorders. And after that, if there are any comorbidities, diabetes, hypertension, we treat them. After coming to all the assessment, then we talk it out with the patient. He has to understand that he has a problem, and he has to agree. अंदर से आनी चाहिए कि हाँ मुझे कम करना है, नहीं तो any amount of treatment will not going to help him unless he decides. Parents बोलने से या अपने बोलने से नहीं होगा. It has to come from inside. We call it insight. Once he has insight into the problem and he tries to do it, then things will work out fine. Chalo, he agreed to everything and is mentally mature enough to take decisions. Then you put him to the flow. What we do is we have we start simple steps. Don't take giant steps. Try to reduce the weight of 0.5 to 1 kg per week. That's better. The thing which goes fast, weight loss fast, comes back also very fast. So let's go in slow step way. They have various dietitians and there are various formulas available. But I don't go for diet formulas. Go for natural foods. Is always better. And lifestyle modification, of course, that has to be done. And then nutritional charts. We have a team of dietitians who make out the chart and give to them. And after giving all this, there's one more thing, cognitive behavior therapy. I'll talk about it in the next slide or so. This is done by a psychologist. They try to come down that why this person is behaving like this, why he's not able to control his behavior and diet. This is now gaining more importance, especially in teenagers and youngsters, and it helps. It really helps if they work out with this. So once you put them through this mill, then we put them and then watch. Periodically we review them. And we find, yes, there is weight loss, there is benefit, good. Then we continue treatment for next 1 to 2 years and see how it goes. After reviewing for 2 to 3 months, no gain, then now we have a problem in hand. What should be done? So what we do is, there's so many in the market and then so many in the gray market, so many drugs available, so many pills available and powders available. First thing we will say is strictly no. None of these things work. There's no jadoo ki pill. And if somebody advises you, you're taking it at your own risk. So, but we have only some limited drugs, which I'll tell you, which can be used, but only in selective cases. After all that, if it's a hopeless thing, no response, then we think about bariatric surgery. Now, bariatric surgery is done for obesity, for weight loss, and more important than that, doing now for metabolic conditions in which the person is at high risk of getting a heart attack because of lipidemia is there, or his diabetes is not getting controlled. Moment you do bariatric, next morning his insulin requirement becomes zero. Diabetes disappears like a magic. So you can imagine the importance of the bariatric surgery. But I won't recommend it for everybody. Only greater than 40 kgs per meter square BMI with comorbidities, then only we should think of doing it. Now, what are the basic steps we can take? Like at home, we can do so many things. Change the diet and reduce the TV watching. While eating, we generally watch TV, and that's what makes you eat without your knowing, subconsciously going on eating. And the type of food and the portion control, reduce the sugars, make a chart at home, what all you're eating. If he's eating samosa and fried foods and all that, he has to cut it out. After eating a normal meal, so those things have to be avoided. And then you encourage the physical activities. Again, children don't listen to parents. The children observe the parents. If the father is not going out for a morning walk and not doing exercise, why should the child do it? So don't try to impose that. You lead by example. Now, exercises, they are mild, moderate, and severe exercises. Gradually should increase. Don't expect a very obese person to start doing severe exercises. Do brisk walking, cycling, and swimming. Light dancing, yoga. If you can get done correctly, yoga is very good. And once you go to the next level, but now here I am going to stop for a while. This slide digression because the clear communication. I'll tell you one or two instances which have happened. A patient, he advised him morning walk to reduce the weight and diet. Comes back after 1 year and said, "Doctor, आपका treatment से कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ. मैंने exercise कर लिया है, आधा किलो भी कम नहीं हुआ." अच्छा ठीक है. How do you do it? Tell me. The 5 or 6 friends start morning. They go on their bikes. Then they meet over there. They have a cup of chai. Then they discuss the day's problems and they have a nice cool walk and they come back after 1 hour. I said, then that's not the way, that you're doing it wrong. When you do the exercise, your heart rate should go up, your breathing rate should go up, and you should have slight sweating. That's what, then when they exercise, that's when the burning of calories starts. That's how it's done. You can't do it in a very leisurely way. Now, vigorous exercises, I'll tell you one more incident actually in the communication. One person I sent to a dietitian to a diet plan. She gave him a diet plan and then he comes to my clinic and said, "Oh, Doctor Saab, this lady has given me a diet chart. This is good. But tell me, ye khane ke pehle khane ka hai, khane ke baad khane ka hai?" I said, "Boss, that is what you're going to eat, not the thing, anything else. This is it." So that communication has to be very clear. Now coming to vigorous exercises, again, you have to slowly increase it. Start the running if you feel that your knees are okay, or basically walking for some time. Then once you develop the strength in your thigh muscles and the leg muscles, then only start that. Competitive sports are interesting because they not only reduce the weight, they give you a very alert mind also. And when you do all this, you do some strength training and also balance training. This is done again in yoga and other things, Tai Chi and all these things. Now coming to cognitive behavior therapy, what you're doing. Actually, what this cognitive behavior therapy is based on the presumption that your thoughts decide your feelings, and they decide your physical sensation, and then they decide your actions. So if you have the negative thoughts and negative feeling, you're caught in a trap. So they train you to give back a positive feedback to yourself and start try to get you out of a trap. Then you start thinking positively and start taking corrective measures. Medication, like I told you, no, strictly no to any medication, no formulas, nothing. Only one, in a worst case worst scenario, is orlistat. This is a drug which suppresses the fat digestion enzyme, the enzyme lipase, which digests fat. So what will happen is the fat which goes into your body, it will get expelled. It will not be digested and absorbed. That is the only drug which we recommend, is accepted by the government of India also and US government also. This is what is being done. Now, bariatric surgery, again, see, this is a little high-tech thing. If you want any discussion on this, I'll do it. But there are basically 3 or 4 procedures which we do. And it's more important in metabolic syndrome and diabetes. And then, of course, also in obesity, there are some basic operations we do. Basically, what we do is try to reduce the intake of food. So you put a band here so that we get full after some amount of food comes here. This is the early operation. Then we have this, make a small stomach here, and then bypass the rest of the stomach and the food goes down, so that you can't eat much and is not absorbed in this. The digestion absorption goes here. This part of the food is not absorbed. Or then you have a sleeve gastrectomy in which the part of the stomach is taken off, so it becomes very small. So these are procedures which can be tried, but that's not advisable in the early stage. So with this thing, I try to stop my presentation. If you have anything to discuss, we can discuss it.
Thank you so much, sir. It was
Yeah.
such a very nice explanation of obesity, the way you explain obesity, and the way you explain the medications, the treatments we can suggest for, we can go for. But one thing, I have a query. You said we can go for pharmacotherapy. Then I think many of us comes with doubt that it must be having some side effects, or it can go for some side effects like medications, riskiness for our health. Are there any side effects related to pharmacotherapy?
No, we don't recommend pharmacotherapy because they all have side effects. You're right. They all have, they can form liver diseases, kidney disease, and also have side effects on other parts of the body. So I don't recommend pharmacotherapy to anybody. Only orlistat, which I told you, that's one drug which we have used, of course, with caution. And then we are telling the patient will get large, bulky, fatty stools. We are telling him that the fat will be going off, so you can't flush it. You pass the stools and go on flushing it, the flush won't. That is the only medication we use. Other than that, I go for diet and exercise, and as far as possible, lifestyle modification, and even then psychotherapy, little bit cognitive behavior therapy, but I don't give any drugs.
I have a question, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Ravi Sharma.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to ask, why was liposuction not covered? Is it dangerous, or is it allowed in your thinking, or what are the conditions? Because I have a relative that is absolutely lot of fat on her body, and we want her to live long time.
Yeah, liposuction has been there and is being practiced, but it was very much popular some time back. But of late, it is losing its acceptability because there are problems associated with this. And some people have died also after doing liposuction because, the number of fat cells in the body is fixed. Let's say on the abdomen, you have 1 billion fat cells, they are there. So what these people are trying to say is that now that fat cells are fixed, you eat less fat, the cell will shrink. And when you eat more fat, again the cell will bloat up. But for that, they want to remove the fat. So the treatment for headache is not cutting off the head. You don't have to remove the. Yeah, you see, that is really not a correct approach. So they cut off that fat, and then they join the skin back, or they do a suction only. Because of this, there are a lot of problems. Wound infections occur, and they have hernias. These people give more job to the surgeons. Once you remove that fat by force, they suck it out with force. So then in the process, some nerves and all get damaged and pulled, and then the abdominal wall becomes weak, and then the intestines start bulging out. So it's not a good treatment. I won't recommend it to anybody.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, I have one more question. Like, many of us can also know about obesity.
Your voice is not clear. It's cutting. Hello. Your voice is not clear.
Am I audible, sir, now?
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. When we comes to know about obesity as a disorder, many of us blames that it is in our genes. So is it right to blame our genes or genetic material? We can say that because of that we are obese, we are under obesity category.
Yes, that is true. Some percentage of obesity can be attributed to genes because the uptake of the fat and the digestion of the fat and then storing that again is controlled to some extent by the genes. These people have high uptake. The moment they eat the amount of food, it gets converted to fat. So there is a genetic cause, but that's only in a very small percentage of people. Because you see, in some families, all are obese. Right from birth, they are obese. A newborn child onwards, they are obese. Those conditions can be attributed to gene, but we are not able to locate that particular gene so far. So if we locate that gene, then we can do a pre-genetic counseling before the birth of the child, and we can try to manipulate that gene. But I don't think, to my knowledge, we have not detected that gene so far.
Okay. And now moving with further, one more question to you. That can obesity shorten our life expectancy? Like can we say we say that a lot of these are there, a lot of disorders are there that shorten our life expectancy by 10 years or by 2 years or by 5 years. So is there any expectancy that obesity can also shorten our life?
Yes, that is accepted theory now because we know people who suddenly die, obese people, they suddenly die because of, again, that's a metabolic syndrome. The arteries get clogged with the fat because of obesity, and then because of that, they can die suddenly. It can be of any, of course, not only the heart, various organs can get affected. Like I told you, the list, there's so many organs which can be affected, and obesity definitely has a higher percentage of death rate compared to non-obese people.
And thank you for this. With one more last question
Sure.
about bariatric surgery, sir.
Which one?
Bariatric surgery, sir.
Bariatric, huh?
I also read about this yesterday. So I was having a doubt that bariatric surgery is a very good option for obesity, but it must be having some side effects like or risk factors to our life or are any of the factors related to our life.
There are a lot of side effects. Yeah, you're rightly pointed out there are a lot of side effects. What happens is if you do the bariatric surgery, then the food is not going to the first part of small intestine. So we get vitamin deficiency, vitamin B1, B6 deficiency, and fat soluble vitamin deficiency, and you get B complex deficiency. All these will come, calcium deficiency. So we have to give them nutritious, especially if you do it in young, 20s and 30s. Those people, it will cause a lot of problems. And if you do it a person below 18 years, the bones have not yet reached the full growth. They also have this problem. So definitely there are deficiencies, nutritional deficiencies occur, and also then there are deficiencies of their digestion also. Some people have large, loose, bulky stools, and they're not able to handle it. So there are side effects, but now there are treatments available. Like it is, you have to weigh the benefit or the risk. I will not do bariatric surgery for a moderate obesity. If he's having very severe obesity, and his life is at risk, like sleep apnea syndrome. There's something called sleep apnea. These obese people, when they are sleeping, they suddenly start breathing deeply, and then suddenly the breathing stops. And then suddenly they wake up and they try to get back their breath. This is called sleep apnea syndrome. People are known to die suddenly. So if there's a 150 kg man, he's getting frequent sleep apnea syndromes, I will do the bariatric surgery for him, knowing fully well that he'll have calcium and vitamin deficiencies and he'll have other problems. But the risk is not so important compared to the benefits he's going to get. So it's always, all surgeries, it's a risk versus benefit ratio. So if you have to do it, you have to do it, but you have to explain the thing, get his consent, and only then you can do it. But definitely you're right, there are a lot of side effects, and I don't want to discourage people because of the side effects, because once they are there, we know they are going to be there, and we have methods to handle them.
So if some patient comes to you and he says or she says that I want to undergo with this surgery, then what would you suggest that what he has to take care post surgery?
Before surgery.
After surgery, that what precautions he has or she has to take care?
Yeah, see, after surgery, first of all, before surgery, the treating precautions start. He should take only liquid diet for a month, and he should show that he is committed to that. And because post-surgery, he'll take only very small meals. He cannot take a full meal. He'll have a craving for it in a few days. But if he takes that, these things can expand. Especially in the sleeve gastrectomy part, you see, these people, the sleeve can expand and go back to almost normal size, then that operation is a failed. So we have to advise him to strictly stick to a diet and eat according to diet. And then we give certain medicines. He has to strictly follow those medicines, take those, and it requires commitment. It can't be done overnight. A lot of counseling is required before the surgery started. And after surgery also, he'll frequently visit the clinic, and he'll get there's a team. There's not only a surgeon, physician, endocrinologist, physiotherapist, dietitian, all of them will be there. They will counsel him on the precautions to be taken, because suddenly his skin will become loose. Because 150 kgs fat starts reducing, the stomach skin will become loose. Abdominal muscles, they will be the strong, but the skin will start overhanging. We have to take care of all those problems. He has to change his clothing. He has to buy new clothes. All these things will be taken care of as he follows up in the treatment.
So going further with this conversation, we have one more question with one of our audience, Sri Asupaji. He asked that which lifestyle and behavioral changes can help with weight loss?
Of course, that's the most important part of the treatment is behavior therapy and lifestyle modification. These we concentrate on this. I tell you, it can be done with these. Majority, I will say around 70% of these patients, if they have a commitment to lose their weight, with these modifications, we can definitely achieve it. It takes time. It takes 1, 2, 3 years, but you can do it. Definitely, you can bring it down. There's no doubt about it.
Finally, I don't think so any of the more queries are there from the audiences. So thank you so much, sir, for this session, for this valuable time of yours,
Thank you so
and
much.
for the amazing discussion on obesity.
Thank you.
We got a lot to know about obesity and the related suggestions or the treatments we can get for that.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry for having kept you guys waiting. And if there are any queries, you can put it on the group or send it to me on my email, and I'll be ready to answer it. And if you want any reference,
I have a query, sir, Subhash ji.
Yes, sir.
सुभाष जी, सबसे easiest way टमी रिड्यूस करने का कैसे होना चाहिए सर, वो बताइए.
टमी रिड्यूस करने का देखिए, एक तो आपने डाइट फॉलो करना है, एक्सरसाइज फॉलो करना है, देन एब्डोमिनल एक्सरसाइजेस कुछ होती है, प्लैंक वगैरह एक्सरसाइज होती है. You go to a trainer and they can reduce the tummy. And most important, tummy again, it's related. If you eat a lot of papad and achar and these kind of things, 50% of it is all gas formed. The tummy, in our community, a lot of people eat these things, so their tummy is full. But if you change the diet also, you'll find that tummy becomes less distended. And of course, ghee thoda kam karna padega, and don't take butter naan, take plain naan if at all you have to eat. These things will make a lot of difference. And of course, exercise of the abdomen specific exercise hoti hai. To do those, definitely there will be some improvement.
Okay, and दूसरा चीज कि लोग आजकल बोल रहे हैं कि intermittent fasting is also very suitable. So do you think intermittent fasting will be suitable to everyone, और एक बार try करके फिर पता करें कि भाई?
हाँ, वो बात सही है. Everybody it may not suit. If you try it and you find comfortable, it will take some time. You see, it takes about 21 days to form a habit. First 21 days you may have problems, but intermittent fasting is being promoted in a big way all over the world in Indian system of medicine and also allopathic system. They say that intermittent fasting working, and it takes time. But whenever you find there's a risk, you should always, go check a step back and increase the diet. That up to 8 to 12 hours, you say if the stomach is empty, it improves the immunity and it reduces the fat content, and you definitely feel better and lighter. Most of the surgeons we see nowadays, they're operating, they do 8 to 10 surgeries a day. He doesn't eat anything the whole day. He'll have just some small snack in the pocket, and he'll go on eating that in between surgeries, and eat for very long, 2 to 3 hours each surgery. But all of them are fit, and gradually he come to that level. When he's a junior surgeon, he won't have much work, but gradually he becomes so busy, and his body is tuned to it. So it's a question of mind and body getting tuned to it. Intermittent fasting doesn't suit everybody, but if the person should try it, it will definitely, you can. If you have the willpower, you can do it, but it's not required that you do that. You can do so many other forms of medicine. You can change the type of food you eat. Eat high fiber diet, eat a salad. If you're hungry, eat a salad, or drink buttermilk, or wash out the acid with normal water. These things also will help you. The quality of the food, quantity of the food also important, and the time interval between the food also is important. If
Yeah, one last question, Subhaji. This very difficult question, I feel, but थोड़ा ऐसा भी लगेगा कि भाई, how to improve the willpower?
That is, it comes from within. It comes from within. It will come. If you keep thinking about it, it will come. One fine morning, you will get up and say, "ये तो मुझे करना है," and that is the day it will change everything. Motivational talks है बहुत सारी है. You can go on YouTube. There's so many people who give motivational talks, and you keep listening to them. And more than that, there are peer groups who have done it. To talk to them, no, they will also give you impetus to it. You will see, yeah, इसने भी किया है, मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. You can do it. And once you decide you can do it, and then you should imagine yourself, okay, I have done this intermittent fasting, and 2 years from now, I'm wearing my old clothes, I'm very slim and fit, and people are, when I walk into the office, people are giving me a second look. These things are, stimulates you to do it. Yeah, I can do it. And you feel fit, you can run again. Then I know one man, he tells me, I do running on and off. He says, मैं सारी दौलत ले ले यार, तू तुम्हारे से running करके दिखा दे मुझे. I said, see, it's possible. Not he runs and he gets knee pains. So that motivation is there in him. I know one day he comes to the ground but doesn't run. He start running, I'm quite sure. So I take him, encourage him. So that peer group, they help you out, and motivational talks, and more than that, it's from within. The voice will come from within. Then only you'll start doing it.
Thank you so much, Subhaji.
Yeah.
Sir, there is one more query from Sunil Kumarji. He wants to know something about anorexia.
Anorexia, yeah. This is other end of obesity. People, some people, they can't eat because they don't have enough food to eat. There's no food on the table, they can't eat. That is a normal thing. But anorexia, if you talk now, this is a kind of a psychological, this is called anorexia nervosa. In that, it is more common in film stars like Michael Jackson and these kind of people. They go into that state when they challenge the body and they go on eating less and less and less of food. They take pills. Those people, they become cachectic. The cachectic means when the body weight becomes below 14, BMI below 14. Those people, they are more prone to various problems. The most important being low immunity. Body defenses go down. And they are more prone to injuries. The bones become weak and brittle. And all systems, and these people suddenly, if they lose weight, get gallstones, and they can get kidney stones because the things get deposited in the kidney. And then this is definitely not a good thing. And another thing is, there are so many film stars, actually, I don't want to take names, who have done it and they landed in trouble. So anorexia is anorexia willfully done, and one is anorexia done because you can't afford it. Those are two different conditions.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Helping us with our queries and with our.
Hello.
Asta, you're on mute.
Connecting on the system. That's why I'm connecting on it. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for this valuable webinar, for your discussion, and for solving our queries on point. Thank you so much for this one. And I would like to request my audiences that if they have any more queries about obesity or any more queries or questions about anything else about this webinar, they can just mention your questions on our mail address. We will mention in the chat box, and you can send your questions on our email, and you will definitely get the answers for those questions. Now, I would like to continue this conversation by handing over the conversation to our Anmol Sharma. for the vote of thanks. Anmol Sharma, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Asaji, for making me the part of this informative and factful webinar. As I'm already part of this obesity since long, but now I believe that I will strive to follow our experienced speaker guidelines and instructions. Firstly, I would love to thank Sri Diveshji uncle. Uncle ji, you have set another tremendous example by this meaningful and selfless initiative named DITF, Dadit International Trade Foundation, for our beloved Dadit community. You thought आपने ये सोचा, you have extracted the Anmol Ratans like me and others and showcased your willpower by converting it into actions and in order to give these huge platforms to the youngsters. You deserve only the best, Sankalji. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And secondly, I would like to express my gratitude towards Dr. Shri Subhashji Dadit for sparing your precious time with us today. Also for guiding and providing us such a valuable fact and information on obesity. You as a doctor, healthcare professional rules millions of heart already, sir, as well as you have received tons and tons of blessings from every citizen in this crucial period. In this unprecedented time, we also came to know the importance of the frontline workers like you who have supported us 24/7 without any hesitations. At the same time, we realize the importance of ourselves. Subhaji sir, you have taught us from top to bottom about the obesity, like definitions, causes, impact, calculations, prevention, solutions, medication, and personally, which I wanted to learn in this, is the psychological support, how this lifestyle should be for to reduce the obesity or to come out from them. And today, after listening to you, I can definitely say that real happiness is in service. Accumulation doesn't satisfy the heart, and we should be stronger than our strongest excuse to achieve the desired body shape we need perpetually. We trust and value your saying, sir, because you have made such an insightful observation. Thank you so much, Subhashji, sir. Thank you so much. Furthermore, I would love to thank Kuldeep ji for introducing the topic so flawlessly. कुलदीप जी, आपका जो ये अंदाज से अनोखा निराला है। हमने दिवाली के अवसर पर भी आपकी मौजूदगी का आनंद लिया था और वैसे ही आपने आज इस वेबिनार को भी, इस टॉपिक को भी बड़े ही सटीक तरीके से हम सबको परिचित कराया है। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कुलदीप जी, थैंक यू सो मच। Additionally, I would thank our beloved moderator Asta Ji Mishra for your contribution and joining our DITF exclusive team. We appreciate your technical. We appreciate our technical members too, named Kiran Ji, Apurva Ji from Bundi, Arushi Ji, Vaibhav Ji from Jaipur, Rahul Ji from Chittorgarh, who have helped us in conducting this webinar so skillfully and smoothly. And last but not the least, thanks a ton to our lovely and so supportive audience. DITF इन ऑडियंस के बिना काफी अधूरी सी है, बट ये एहसास हमारी ऑडियंस ने कभी नहीं दिलाया है, क्योंकि आपने हमारा साथ सिंस डे 1 से दिया है। एंड आई एम श्योर ये जो आपका प्यार है, अफेक्शन है, भरोसा है और समर्थन है, हमेशा हमारे साथ रहेगा। Once again, thanks to everyone over here. It was our pleasure to have you all on this dynamic DITF platform. Jai Hind. Thank you.
थैंक यू अनमोल जी, आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप भी दादी समाज के वो रतन हैं जिन्हें हमारे जौहरी देवेश जी ढूंढ करके ला रहे हैं, जो पिछले काफी समय से निरंतर इनका प्रयास यही रहता है कि दादी समाज में छुपी हुई प्रतिभाओं को सामने लेकर के आ रहे हैं। आज डॉक्टर सुभाष दादी जी को जो आज जिस तरीके से उन्होंने हमारे सामने प्रेजेंटेशन किया, तो मैं कहूंगा कि हर जगह इत्र ही नहीं महका करते, कुछ लोगों की शख्सियत भी महका करती है। तो हमारे जो डॉक्टर साहब ने आज जो इतने जटिल विषय के ऊपर इतने साधारण तरीके से उन्होंने बहुत ही सिंपल तरीके से जो सारी चीजें आज हम लोगों के सामने रखी, हम उनका तहे दिल से आभार व्यक्त करते हैं और आज का ये कार्यक्रम यहीं संपन्न करते हैं।
Thank you.
Thank you, Devesh ji. It was really great, interesting program today. I hope you liked it,
अरे
and I hope not too technical.
नहीं, it was very informative साहब। हम सब लोग काफी आपका शुक्रगुजार हैं कि you have really given a very valuable time, sir.
No, I enjoy it actually. These kind of programs I definitely enjoy, and they give me a lot of pleasure if I can tell something which I know. Of course, you all are very experts in your own field. आपके फील्ड में जो आप जानते हैं वो तो है ही, ये चीज थोड़ा बहुत मैं जानता हूँ आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता था।
Thank you,
Very
sir.
good, very excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Very nice.
Thank you very much.